worked for the federal government for a few years. I worked on a lot of digital transformation projects on getting cloud introduced into federal agencies. One of the first projects that we had was moving an organization to the cloud. And so the first task was essentially meeting the team. This organization had been around for many, many years. And so not only were they dealing with kind of the technical debt of legacy systems and kind of debating should they lift and shift into the cloud or build new applications, but they were also dealing with organizational debt, things that have been around in the organization's infrastructure for a long time. And usually what happens with organizations is that each business unit kind of is responsible for their own objectives. And so when you are working in the cloud, you're kind of spreading those objectives across organizations using DevOps and shared responsibility models. App engineers are also worried about security as well as the infrastructure and the security teams. And so security becomes a big part of the conversation. One of the security team members declared to be prepared for the next meeting because there'll be bloodshed, and that there's going to be a lot of conflict happening on the team. I think about it, for me, this was kind of a, complicated situation because, this is the first time meeting the team. You can see the friction already. And really, they're all great people, but it's just created between the organizational silos and the responsibilities that each organization had, and they really built these walls in between each other in the shapes of forms. For one organization to talk to another, they had to fill out a form, and they really kind of held each other accountable and really started pointing fingers at each other. I said, hold on, let's pause for a second and wait right there, and then really listen to how we talk to each other. And I said, well, let's change the conversation. Let's not talk about and blame others for what's going on in the organization, but just talk about how you feel, and then talk about the organizational issues that you're dealing with and how we can kind of surpass them. And one thing that's important, Jess Humble, who I also used to work with, has a book that he releases on an annual basis around the state of DevOps. And one of the top 10 tenets of having a good DevOps infrastructure is community. And, ensuring strong security means good communication, good process when there's an incident that we're all working together. And so, really trying to take a step back and implement the foundations of good DevOps practices and good communication amongst the team was really critical on kind of getting the team situated and working together in the cloud. So after that day, we kind of all worked together as a team to be able to establish some new boundaries, some new rules, and really kind of remove the negative energy and silos that were built between the organizations. And I remember a few months later, somebody on the team had bumped into the CISO of that organization. They said, I don't know what your team did. And so our team member was a little freaked out from that statement. He's like, before we couldn't get these organizations to talk to each other, and now the end of their retros, they take selfies together, and they just went out to lunch as a complete team. And he said, not only did you make our organization safer, but you made it a happier place to work. It's kind of ironic that something like the cloud and new practices really kind of improve work culture, but I think what it's doing is it's forcing older organizations to really change the dialogue of the conversations, because everything is so kind of intermingled. I know there's a new term that Nielsen put out around appless structure, which is application infrastructure kind of combined. And really what that means is that I can't just build software and then pass it off to the infrastructure team. I have to design my software with the infrastructure team, because they're going to give me some insights and benefits around how to best architect the application, and the application team is going to give the infrastructure team a little bit more information on how to best optimize their code to put it all together. All of that with a security mindset, hopefully established as the first lens to look at any type of application or infrastructure that you're putting together in the cloud.